Good evening and welcome to Vermillion High School as we get you set for some volleyball action tonight. Here with Fuller Digital Solutions, it's the Vermillion Tangers taking on the Lennox Orioles. I'm Heath Nimke. It's great to have you along. Are you excited for some volleyball tonight? The Vermillion Tangers coming in 1-1 on their season, whereas Lennox is 0-1. It was Vermillion Tangers opening up their season a week ago in a close and furious set against West Central, but getting the win in 3-2 sets. And then Wagner on Thursday, they got swept by them in 3 straight sets, and now they get ready for this big matchup tonight on what is going to be a special night here in Vermillion. Of course, as we know, with COVID-19 going on, they're going to be doing a special presentation of the seniors and recognize them as we get you set for volleyball. Again, I'm Heath Nimke. We'll be covering volleyball throughout the season with Fuller Digital Solutions and the Vermillion Tangers. Now, it won't be every game like it would be football or basketball, but we'll do a majority of the home games, and we'll see if we can't squeeze in a couple of away games. The reason for why we don't cover every single game, let's just make that clear first of all, is I do have other commitments and other priorities in my life, so I can't come to every single volleyball game with already football stacked on top, and as I mentioned, a full-time job elsewhere. So get to stay busy with Vermillion Athletics and looking forward to a volleyball season as well, and getting to cover this team. Really looking forward to it. Like I said, it's great to have you along here with Fuller Digital Solutions, which is providing our streaming service tonight, and they will be providing all the streaming service throughout the season as well. As we mentioned, the lights are off. They're getting ready for their senior presentation here at the Vermillion High School. Now, we are going to step aside just because the one thing I do like to do with every sports season is interview coaches and talk about the team and their season. So that being said, Jody Zeller, the head coach of this Vermillion Tangers team, is no different. I was able to have a conversation with her earlier in the week and talk about the beginning of the start, what COVID-19 has all done for the team, and what they continue to do to get ready for this season, and what their expectations are. That's all coming up here in just a moment with our Fuller Digital streaming services as you're listening to Vermillion Tanager Volleyball. Don't go anywhere.
We're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact from your agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
Here at Vermillion High, back on our pregame show as we get you set for volleyball between Vermillion and Lennox. Great to have you along with Fuller Digital Solutions, the video streaming providing tonight for this volleyball season. We'll continue to keep coverage of volleyball throughout this season with Fuller Digital Solutions, but our first game tonight features our first conversation of this season as well with head coach Jody Zeller of the Vermillion Tangers. I was able to catch up with head coach Zeller and talk about this big matchup for her team taking on Lennox. What's it been like dealing with COVID-19 as a team? And the girls are already off to a 1-1 start. What have they seen so far this season? Here she is. It's head coach of the Vermillion Tangers, Jody Zeller. Coach, before we talk about a season that has already gotten underway for your team, let's first talk about every situation that all the coaches have talked about, COVID-19. Now, we know volleyball isn't necessarily a physical sport when going against each other besides the ball, but how much has COVID-19 affected your team, the way you practice, and everything that you have to go through and getting it used to a new routine?
Obviously, it's affected us some. The biggest difference I saw was in our summer workouts. We were really restricted for the number of kids we could have in the gym. For basically most of June and all of July, we could only have 10 kids in the gym at specific times. And so that required us as coaches to spend 3, sometimes 4 hours a day for open gyms. that was the biggest thing to me. We also have to pre-screen them every single day before practice. We did it every single day before open gyms. We pre-screen them with the questions, and we take their temps every single day. As far as going on the bus, we screen them before they get on the buses, and they also have to sit in seating arrangements on the buses so that we're in the same groups of kids. To me, those are the biggest things, other than, just little things like the cleaning. We're doing more cleaning than we've done before, so it's taking more time. And then we've had some little, I wouldn't even call them rule changes, but we've had some little changes in the games that I think the fans probably have noticed. The substitution process is probably the biggest one for us. They're asking the kids to hand sanitize going into the game as well as come out of the game. Subs in volleyball have always been the ultimate goal in that has been to make them as quick and painless as they can to not impede the speed of the game and things like that. And with this hand sanitizing process, it has slowed that whole process down a little bit. But, honestly, my kids are doing a great job of following the rules. They're keeping their masks on the bus, and they have to wear their masks in practice until they've been screened. Once they've been screened and they are active on the court, then they can take their masks off unless they want to keep them on. And there are a couple that choose to wear them. And then when we are during games, you'll see the players on the bench are in masks as well as the coaching staff as well. So biggest changes for me. Yeah.
There definitely have been some big changes, as you're mentioning, just with the wearing of all those masks. But I also want to go back to something else you mentioned in the very beginning with the open gym and only allowing so many players in at a time and kind of being taking over this new head coaching role. How difficult was that in the beginning, trying to become a family with this team?
It's huge because not only, like I said, you could only have 10 kids, but the ones I maybe wanted in the gym at the same time weren't all available at those same times. And so I had, different levels of players and all at the same time together. On the bright side, it got kids the opportunity to play with upper level players that they maybe wouldn't have had the opportunity to be on the court with before. But it did cut back on allowing, say, your varsity team to come to an open gym together and to work on plays and things like that. So we've had to do some catch-up once we were able to all get in the gym. We've had to spend more time on that kind of stuff that we had already taken care of before the season even started in the past years. Yeah.
Well, now we mentioned it. The season has gotten started, a couple of games in so far. What's that been like? Just getting back to play, getting into volleyball, and getting off to a 1-1 start.
Obviously, it's awesome to be back on the floor and be back in the swing of things. And once again, I'm going to say that kids have absolutely grabbed onto this, and they've done everything we've asked them to do. And honestly, they really haven't even complained or whined about it. The kids could be putting up a stink, but they're not. They are doing everything they can to prolong their season. And that's how we approach it with them, too. It's really important that they be honest with us, if they have a headache or a sore throat, and that if they have to miss a practice due to that, that's better than staying in practice and infecting their teammates. And so the kids have been wonderful about that. And like I said, we really haven't had anything. I think we had one girl with maybe a sore throat one day, but other than that, and she was back the next day, so it was an allergy-related type of a thing. It's been really smooth for us, so, yeah. Anyway, but as far as being back on the court, I was incredibly impressed with how well our girls played against West Central with everything coming in so slowly due to the COVID restrictions and things like that. And I felt like we were behind as the skills that we had been able to cover. And you will see, anybody that watches us play this year is going to understand what a different team we are this year than we have been the past couple of years, at least while I have been in the process. We have been an offensive team in the past. I've had big hitters in the past. And I've got good hitters this year, but I don't have the hitters that we had last year. And so we have to focus more on defense, and my girls really stepped up to the plate against West Central, and I thought really did a good job. So against Wagner, our defense I thought was still all right. Our serve receive went a little astray, but part of that, Wagner's a better team. And so Wagner served the ball at us harder, and boy, they've got that Brunson girl hitting on the outside. And my girls haven't seen a player like that in a long time. I don't know if we've seen a player that good since I've been back to coaching. And so we were a little wide-eyed at the beginning, but we made some great adjustments, and I thought the girls did a good job of getting their hands on the ball she touched and doing better by the end of the match. So.
And going off that, as you mentioned, a very talented player with Wagner, but also going into 5 sets with West Central and getting the win, how great is that experience to see in the first 2 games?
Like I said, the 5-setter against West Central, I don't know that I could have asked a whole lot more out of our girls. In set 1, I think we lost 25. It was either 13 or 15. And we talked to the girls a lot about we lost by 12 points, and we had, I believe, 17 hitting and serving errors in that first set. And to me, that's going to be the differential in our matches. Volleyball is a game of errors. The key with this particular team, we have to make fewer of them than the other team because we're not going to out-hit anybody. We're just not. I have some, like I said, we've got some good hitters, but I don't have kids this year that are going to put the ball straight down on the floor. We are going to be much, much better about finding open spots on the floor, but they're probably not going to be as hard. We're going to be smarter hitters rather than harder hitters is how we describe it to the girls. We're going to be smart hitters. And we just trying to be smart hitters. We made error after error after error in that whole set, but we're also smart players. And so when I was able to show that to them on paper and pencil and show them, we lost 17 points due to this. They're like, dang, that's the difference in the set right there. And they turned it around in the next set and did a good job of that. So it's nice to have that smarts on the court too. So, yeah, I was happy. I was really happy with the West Central match.
And you've mentioned it, that the size isn't the tallest with this team, but a lot of experience, a lot of seniors. How big is that, not just so far in the first couple of weeks with practice into the first couple of games, but going ahead throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, I have 10 seniors this year, 9 of them being players and 1 being a manager. And so it's a great group of girls, and they seem to be a really pretty tight-knit group of girls. And the other thing that they have welcomed so well is I've thrown some young kids in there with them, and they have welcomed them with open arms, and they've helped them through the process. Because like you said, I have some girls, basically you could look at a couple of them, like Arlena Heil. Arlena's doing a great job for us this year, but this is her first year being actually on the court, on the varsity court. And she has stepped into her role and done a really nice job. Unlike, say, the Shandy Ludwig, who's been on the court for me for 3 years. Eva's been on and off for a couple of years. Amber's been on the court for me quite a bit. But those girls are really welcoming those young kids. I've got a sophomore setter playing all the way around for me, 6'1". Now, Claire played on the floor last year as a middle blocker for us, and we've put her in at the setting position this year. And then Thursday night of last week, one of my starting middle hitters, Amber Schultz, was gone to a family wedding, so I pulled a freshman in and started her in Amber's spot. And those older girls just really welcomed her in and helped her through that process because volleyball has some rules that people in the stands don't always understand, and the young kids also don't always understand them. And so they did a nice job of helping Brooklyn through her nerves and her transition into the court on the first time. So I appreciate those seniors and the work that they've done, and they're smart in the game. So
before we talk about this Lennox matchup that we have coming up tonight, what is the ultimate goal besides the whole entire season? What is the ultimate goal for this team?
Our goal, everything we do this year is going to be based around defense. Every single thing we do is going to be based around defense, and to get better at it every single game. I want the other teams, when they come and see us on the floor, they are sweating trying to find a ball hitting the floor, and that we can dig balls up so that the other team's big hitters get frustrated, which will hopefully cause them to make errors. So defense, 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 and I'm going to continue to preach it all year long.
As they always say, defense wins championships as well.
Yeah.
But now you focus on this Lennox team, a team that has gotten one game so far underneath your belt. What have you seen from them on tape, and what are you expecting?
Well, Lennox lost some of their big hitters as well. They have some players back. The thing you can count on with Lennox is they are going to probably keep the ball alive. I expect it to be a defensive battle, to be very honest with you. Lennox does it. They play a lot like we do. And so I think it'll come down to who's in better shape. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to 5 sets. Who can serve well and keep the other team out of system more. That's one of our goals, is that our servers, we don't want nice, easy balls going over the net. We want stuff that's going to challenge them, hopefully put them out of system so that they have to have somebody set other than the hitter or other than the setter. And then hopefully that we can get people that we want hitting the ball at us versus them being able to hit at us with who they want to. So,
what key players are you watching for on Lennox?
I'll be real honest with you. Their biggest hitters, I think you're going to see a lot of new people for them, is what I would say. Their big hitters from last year were all seniors and are going to be gone. So he's got a lot of new stuff coming in. I don't really know what to expect just because he's got so many new players on the floor.
It's always tough when you see a new team and what to expect, but good luck, Coach, tonight. Let's go get Lennox. There she is, Jody Zeller. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get you even closer to the first set between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. That's on the way with volleyball here with Fuller Digital Solutions. Don't go anywhere.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
Digital Solutions started a little over 6 years ago doing Facebook Live videos for a couple ball games. And little did we know we'd have the 2020 pandemic and so many reasons for doing live streams on our new YouTube channel. We have 12 schools we cover: Mississippi, South Dakota, and Iowa. And we're always growing. If you're interested in working with FDS as camera operator or play-by-play for the many sports we cover, or if you would like to use our services to live stream your event, email us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com and subscribe to Fuller Digital Solutions on YouTube.
Great to have you back here at Vermillion High School as we get you even closer to our action tonight between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. With Fuller Digital Solutions, I'm Heath Nimke, also the voice of the Vermillion Tanagers, covering Vermillion football and basketball throughout the season, and got my opportunity to cover some volleyball, and I was all about it. Now, it has been a few years for myself to cover volleyball, but looking forward to another exciting season. So we just got done talking to head coach Jody Zeller. Now, we will catch up with head coach Jody Zeller as much as we possibly can. As of right now, she is completely game for every time we are going to cover a volleyball game. And that being said, do want to mention this one, our next volleyball game that we are going to be covering with Fuller Digital Solutions That one will be on the road, as we'll be in Bonhomme next Tuesday. Now, Vermillion does have another game coming up here at home, taking on South Sioux City. That one's at 7:30, so if you're not doing anything Thursday evening, then come on out and watch some great volleyball. As a little bit ago, before our conversation with Coach Jody Zeller, why the conversation was happening, we did get appreciation and senior night here for the Vermillion Tangers. Of course, that has gotten moved up with COVID-19 and everything that is going on this season. Just not really for sure what was going to happen, so they said, let's get these seniors recognized now, and let's get that moved up. So they did that, and speaking of, there is quite a bit of seniors on this team, as head coach Jody Zeller mentioned in our pregame conversation. And those 10 seniors include Shandy Ludwig, who is the defensive specialist for this team and getting close to 1,000 digs. She's at 965 in a tanager uniform, and they are hoping that tonight is going to be the night that she can get to 1,000, and if she does, we will take a special moment here to celebrate her and what she has been able to do. But other seniors include Arlena Heil. She's been amazing so far this season and has really stepped into her role, as Jody Zeller mentioned. Other seniors on this team include Sydney Stockwell, Eva Knudsen, as well as Kayla Lucas is in there. Again, there's 10 seniors. Brianna Wildermuth is a defensive specialist as well. Emily Na, defensive player, and then Alexis Anders and Amber Schultz, all part of the Vermillion Tanager seniors. So again, a full kind of pickings for the Tanagers, and they'll use a majority of seniors tonight. And when we look at this Lennox team, as head coach Jody Zeller said, don't really know what to look at, how this team is going to come out. They're a little bit like the same way as Vermillion is. They have some seniors that will be boasting out there tonight that can really come along, but they also look to a sophomore class. They use, in fact, three different sophomores in their starting lineup tonight. So that is going to be something to look at for Lennox and how they're able to do. Again, Lennox is 0-1 on their season. Their only loss coming to a very talented Garrettson team that is 3-0 on their year. Otherwise, I want to go back to something else Coach Jody Zeller mentioned. She said something about the West Central game and how it's been confusing with COVID-19 and getting games in. Well, that's exactly what this season has been like. When you look around the state of South Dakota, several games have not happened because of conflicts in scheduling, and one of those includes Sioux Falls Christian, Dakota Valley, and T were all scheduled to play basically each other all at the same day at the same time. Well, of course, it was just supposed to be a regular one, so it got really confusing. But nonetheless, they were able to kind of get working throughout their season, and they'll continue to do that. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll bring you back with more volleyball here on with Fuller Digital Solutions. Don't go anywhere as we get you set even closer for Vermillion taking on Lennox here tonight at the Vermillion High School.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
We get even closer between action between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. Great to have you along with Fuller Digital Solutions as the lights have been turned off once again in Vermillion. And you know that means we're getting even closer to action again. We are just about ready to start the varsity matchup between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. And while we have a quick opportunity, let's take a look at the starting lineups for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. First up for Lennox, it'll be number 1, Courtney Sandall, the 5'6" defensive specialist sophomore tonight for Lennox. Also up will be Jenna DeCou, the 5'7" outside hitter senior. Number 5, Kayla Jackson, the 5'5" specialist sophomore. Number 14, Zoe Zabel, the 5'8" outside senior hitter. And also number 21, Myra Whitehead, the 5'11" right side striker or hitter for the Lennox Orioles, who is a junior, and number 28, Annika Coilis, the 6'1" middle hitter sophomore. As I mentioned, Lennox brings out 3 different sophomores. Now we take a look at the starting lineup for the Vermillion Tanagers. Leading things off will be Shandy Ludwig, the 5'2" defensive specialist, who, as we mentioned, is a senior and getting even closer to 1,000 digs in a Vermillion Tanager uniform. After that, it'll be number 2, Arlena Heil, the 5'9" middle blocker senior for the Tanagers. After that, Sydney Stockwell, the 5'6" outside hitter senior for the Tanagers. Then it goes Kara Kalemi, the 5'9" outside hitter junior. Claire Doty, the 5'10" strike setter, will be the sophomore. And also take a look at a couple other big players. Will be Emily Newley, the 5'6" defensive senior for the Vermillion Tanagers. Also watch for Amber Schultz, the 5'8" middle blocker senior, as we get you set for, again, this big matchup between Vermillion and Lennox. As right now it looks like we're going to take a break here for the national anthem. We'll keep it right here as this one is going to be performed, so we'll step aside just for a moment for the national anthem. It's the national anthem here in Vermillion as the lights continue to spin in the red and white, as now the overhead lights come back on, which means we are ready for some volleyball. Presented by Fuller Digital Solutions, I'm Heath Nimke. It's great to have you along. Let's get into action. Of course, the Lennox will be in their orange uniforms with the black pants, and Vermillion in their all black uniforms with the numbers and letters that are in red. Of course, Shandy Ludwig, the libero, will be in the white uniform for the Tanagers, and for Lennox, Courtney Sandall will be the libero and be in the blue uniform for the Lennox Orioles, as the ball is rolled out and we are ready to get things underway with Kaya Jackson for the Lennox Orioles as we are officially underway here in Vermillion. Quickly, the Tanagers set it up and get it over again. Coach Zeller expecting a very defensive game. Now a little bit of a confusion as the Tanagers will sort things out and get it back over as a little bit of run is going and finally get it as diving to the ground was Maya Whitehead, but not able to set it up for anybody. And a quick point will go to the Vermillion Tanagers. They lead it 1-0. As now Kara Clemmie will be up to serve. She gets it in and Lennox will see what they can set up, as just barely getting it over was Courtney Sandall. And then Tanagers able to work it quickly back over, and they take a 2-0 lead right away. Again, Lennox, and their first time up was swept 3 straight sets to Garrettson. That was on Thursday. And now we're going to get an error on a carry against the Lennox. So Vermillion will get the free point, and it's quickly up to 3-0. As again, right now, serving for the Vermillion Tanagers is Kara Clemmie, the outside hitter. Lennox trying to set something up and get their first points and send Shandy Ludwig into the back corner. She has to dive, can't make the right contact to set it back up into play, and it will go out, and it'll be the first points for Lennox as the Tanagers lead it 3-1. Now up will be Zoe Zabel, who will be setting things up, as her and Mariah Hinker, I believe, have switched uniforms, at least on my sheet. And Lennox trying to get it over the net. They can't, and it will be another point for Vermillion. A little bit of confusion trying to dig it out. Lennox was, again, unsuccessful. So 4-1, quick lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. Now Lennox looks and trying to save it. Deep is Kara Clemmie, but she's not able to hit it straight on. First contact, though, was made by Claire Doty as it went straight to her. She tried to set something up, but bounced off the wrong side of her and again went back behind. Clemmie had the chase after it, not able to get there. 4-2. And now back. Here come Lennox, and Vermillion will set things up, try to get into that back corner, and it's going to be just outside. A great attempt there by Knutson, but she couldn't find the back line, and then an ace is going to come. So 2 straight points quickly. Actually, it's 3 straight points for Lennox, and they've tied it up with Vermillion 4-4. As again, right now, Zoe Zabel is the server. She this time is going to send it right into the net, and Vermillion needed that to end a 3-0 run that Lennox was on. Quick substitutions as Arlena Heil will come in, and Ludwig will take a quick seat. Getting it over, and it's going to go too far, and it's going to be 2 quick errors for both teams, and we're tied back up 5-5. So Ludwig will come back in, and Amber Schultz will exit out. Also, by the way, Mariah Whitehead will come out for Lennox. Maddie Palmer will come in. So there's a couple of defensive substitutions as a great kill this time by Arlena Heil. She was set up perfectly and just able to send it over. And the Tanagers will take back their lead now 6-5. Whitehead will set it up and try to quickly get it over there was Taku. But Vermillion was ready. Now setting things up, and Shandy's just going to have to try to get over, and she sends it too far, headed towards the bleachers. Coach Patrick Prudy was able to save it from going there, but it's a point for Lennox, and we're tied once again 6-6. So this one's starting to find its way back and forth. Heil tries to find the backside corner this time, and it's going to be too far to the outside, now to play, and it's Lennox with their first lead in this first set, 7-6. Now sending over, trying to get the ace Courtney Sandel was looking over to Shandy Ludwig, but just sent it beyond the reach of Ludwig, and we're tied back up once again, 7. And now we're just seeing service errors once again, as this time it is Knutson who sends it too far beyond the line. So again, 3 straight service errors, 2 on Vermillion and 1 on Lennox, makes it back to an 8-7 lead. And Lennox will now serve it up with Ashlyn Rust. Quickly, Vermillion gets it over, then Lennox pops it right back, trying to catch Vermillion off guard, not able to do so. Now one popped up high in the air. Chasing after it was Kaya Jackson. I think she thought that might have just found the opposite side of the net, but all of a sudden realized when it was coming down, it did not. And we're tied back up 8-8. Shandy Ludwig back up to serve. Ludwig, by the way, coming in with 5 kills. Leading for the Teenagers is Knutson, who has had an error already. Now here comes Lennox, and Ludwig has to dive to the ground to save it. She's able to keep it alive, and the rally will stick around for a little bit. Back into Ludwig as she has to dig it up once again, and now we have ourselves a good rally. Lennox trying to take back the lead, and they sent it too far over to Coach Jody Zeller, and it did just get into the line. So it's going to be a point for Lennox. As I say, it did just get in. So 9-8, Lennox takes back the lead. Vermillion hasn't had the lead since it was tied 5-5. I should say 5-4. Now back and trying to get the back line, and this time Kara Kalemi sends it too far. I thought that maybe for a sec Kalemi had the back line, but not quite. Now 10-8. Vermillion is, after getting off to a quick 3-0 start, continues to get themselves in trouble, and now Amber Schultz sends it into the netting. Continues to have a good rally going, or I should say a good run for Lennox, 11-8 here in this first set. And now Vermillion will just send it over quickly with Amber Schultz. All right, Hinker trying to get something there. They're going to say that it was not quite, and a point for the Tanagers. So Tanagers now lead it 11-9 as one went into the netting for Lennox. Shandy Ludwig will take just a sec to pause as she's still tying her shoe. By the way, up to serve right now would be Kara Kalemi. Kalemi's finally ready, and will send it over, and quickly having to dive to the ground, and that one will be an ace. As diving there was Zoe Zabel, and not able to quite dig it back up for Lennox. 11-10 now. Vermillion on their own 2-0 run, but now Kalemi will send it into the netting. Again, we'll go to 25 for the first 4 sets, and if it takes us getting to that 5th set, we'll go to 15. First one to win 3 sets will be the winner tonight. And now quickly, this one is going to be sent over, and it's going to be a point, or a kill, I should say, for Sydney Stockwell. She was set up perfectly. And it keeps it close for the Vermillion Tanagers, 12-11. Trail by 1 with Lennox having that lead. Hitting over is Claire Doty. And now Lennox is back at their own line, and they're at the 3rd touch, and they can't quite get it over. And Vermillion will now tie it back up once again. Back into action here as we had a quick pause, and Vermillion able to score another, and they now lead it 14-12 over Lennox as they are now on a 3-0 run, and with that it comes to an end. I was trying to serve it up there was Alexis Anders, and she served it just a little too far past the line. So 14-13, And quickly, it's going to be Zoe Zabel who sends it right into the netting. So 15-13 is the lead. The Vermillion leads it over Lennox. 10 more points is what the Teenagers need to take this first set, and now set up, and nobody goes after it as Danny Hygum just set it up for anybody of Lennox to go get it, and nobody did. Ball's right in the middle. 16-13, and just a little soft getting it over. And now the team's battling back around, bounces a couple of times. Everyone trying to dive to the ground for Lennox. And looking to get it there was Jenna DeCou, but she had knocked away from her last second. She dove to the ground, and now 17-13, and trying to hug the near line. It's going to go just beyond. Will be Amber Schultz, and it'll be a point to Lennox. So 17-14. As now up to serve for Lennox will be Palmer. She sends it over, and Vermillion will have it set up and trying to get it over. Quickly they will, and with the kill, it will be Arlena Heil. As it was set up perfectly, and diving to the ground to try to keep it alive was Anna Collis, but she was not able to do so. So 18-14, Stockwell serves it up and trying to get in over the net, and Jenna DeCou couldn't. She knew it was her last one, had it at an awkward angle, it was at her chest, and just had to try to send it over quickly. She couldn't, and now 19-14. Teenagers starting to build here late. DeCou sends it over. Now served up to Ludwig, and Ludwig standing at the 5-2 frame, it just sends it right into the netting. 19-15. Sandall will serve for Lennox. Send it back to Stockwell. They get it over, and Clemmy just sends it over. It wasn't set up nicely for her. Now trying to get the kill, but it's going to be dug by Ludwig. Back over by Clemmy, and trying to get the save, and not quite there was Zabel. And she sends it into the crowd of Vermillion and Lennox. And another point for the Teenagers. 20-15 in this first set. And now set up, and it's going to be popped up. Palmer trying to get it over and knock it, and it's going to be just happening for Lennox. And Vermillion's going to be able to set it up nicely, but not able to take advantage of it. Now Lennox back the other way, turning defense to offense, and Vermillion just shovels one over the net quickly. Not going to happen. Now one deep out to Ludwig. She's able to save it. Having to send it over quickly is Knudsen. The rally continues, and a hard kill, this time by Mariah Hinker, as it was sent right into Knudsen. And it's 20-16 as Lennox on the great rally is able to walk away with the point this time. And now Sandal, the server, will send it too far beyond the line. And it's going to be a free point for Vermillion. 21-16. Ludwig up to serve. Sends it over nice and easy. Palmer will be the one to dig it up, and now send it over Hinker. But Vermillion able to deal with it on defense. Palmer tries to set it up once again. Just have to be knocked over slightly, and saving it from hitting the ground was Knudsen. Ball will still stay alive, and DeCou thought she was set up nicely, but sends it right into the netting. She's frustrated with herself, and now Vermillion is just 3 points away from winning the first set. And now conversation with the official, as they look like they're going to make sure everyone is in the right spot. Patrick Prudy and the official on the far side. Everything is sorted out, and we are ready to go once again. It's a Ludwig who will send it over. 22-16 as Vermillion now turns defense into offense. Trying to get the kill this time, and it goes out of the ducking head of Knudsen. And she shouldn't have ducked out of it, as she thought it might have been going just a little beyond the line for her. She did have to move her head, but instead finds the back before hitting that line for Mariah Hinker. And now 22-17. And Vermillion diving to the ground this time is Alexis Anders, and she can't save it. So 2 quick points, 22-18. Vermillion with Stockwell sends it up, trying to dig it, and sends it right over the net, straight to Hinker, and she spikes it home. and 3 straight points now for Lennox. It was 22-16, and now 22-19. This time, Stockwell sets it up nicely. They send it over as Levin jumping a little too soon and going off the fingertips of Zoe Zabel, as she's not able to make the proper contact with it. Sends it into the net, 23-19. Now up to serve will be Kara Kalemi. Diving to the ground is Deku. She has to just send it over with her dive. And now Vermillion has an opportunity. 2 Lennox run into each other, and now they continue to keep it alive. Lennox, after a couple mistakes, not anything too costly, but finds it down the line, will be Stockwell after hitting off the top of the net. And another point for Vermillion. And now we are at set for the Tanagers, 24-19. Kara Kalemi with an ace already, trying to finish this one off and get the first set. Set up and sent over, and it's going to be a great kill by Zoe Zabel. And it will be set back up with Lennox, 24-20. Here we go with the set point, and then miscommunication. Oh, Eva Knutson set it up, and chasing after it was Claire Doty, but Shandy Ludwig looked directly at it, and it gives a free point to Lennox. So 24-21 now. Again, the Tanagers lead it over Lennox, as a timeout is going to be called by head coach Jody Zeller. You have to imagine the timeout is just to make sure the team is set up right and ready to go. Don't want to make any mistakes here. Just want to get this one finished off if you can. So again, current score 24-21. As Coach Zeller continues to have the conversation with her team, Lennox comes back out. Again,
words too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The Flexi Slide Bin, brought to you by Whirlpool.
Vermillion takes the first set, 25-22 over Lennox, and now get ready for the second set, as again Vermillion has either gone to 5 sets and a 3-set sweep. They have lost, and now they're going to look to see if they can't take the second set, quickly get out over Lennox here. As Lennox will continue to make their final substitutions as we make sure the officials are ready to go. We're almost there, but not quite. Finally, the ball is going to be rolled, and it will be Kara Kalemi, by the way, for Vermillion, who will send things over. We'll take a look at the region standings coming up throughout this set here as well. But we are finally underway as set number 2 begins, and right there, a battle at the netting, and Vermillion is going to win this one, and they open up with a 1-0 lead. So again, great to have you with Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll continue to keep our coverage of volleyball throughout the season. Next coverage comes up against Bonhomme, and there is going to be an error that's going to go against the Tanagers, and a point for Lennox. They now lead it, or excuse me, they tied up 1-1. At first set began on a quick 3-0 run for the Tanagers before it was back and forth, and then Vermillion was able to get a late run once again, but Lennox did make it a little close, but is still getting the win 25-22. And now this one will go too far beyond the line, and Lennox has the lead. Quickly back in action. Lennox will send it over. Now Stockwell just trying to get to hug that line once again, but moving out of the way and reading that nicely was Mariah Whitehead to see it go out, and Lennox now has it 3-1. Knutson will be the first one to make contact. Ludwig will just have to send it over. Now trying to be set up by Jackson. Get just beyond the reach of the Tanagers, but it goes just beyond the line, and Vermillion will get the point 3-2. Again, haven't gotten too far into much of the volleyball season, as Vermillion is actually a rare team to already have 2 games underway. With Lennox, as we mentioned, only one. They had their first one on Thursday. And now this one is going to be just sent over by Ludwig. Trying to send it back right over was Jackson, and she couldn't. She sent it back into the netting, and it's a point for Vermillion, and we're tied up again 3-3. Volleyball did get started here in the state of South Dakota just on Tuesday, so a week ago today. Now a service error for Vermillion once again. Again, they just can't find this right side of that court. And Lennox will take back the lead 4-3. Mariah Hinker up to serve, and she'll send it too far. So a couple services that go back-to-back out of bounds for both teams. And we're tied back up 4-4. So we mentioned, the only other team that has really gotten more games than the Tanagers have been is Canton, as they've gotten 3 in so far. And now one that's going to be served up by Ludwig. She thought she had the corner, and she didn't. The official at the net is going to say that went just out. So another point for Lennox, as it's just been back and forth serving errors right now. And another one, as we mentioned, quickly goes the way of Vermillion. So the action has been slow now. We're tied 5-5. Stockwell trying to get something, sends it straight into Zoe Zabel, and they have to save it all the way at the back wall. Lennox do, and they were able to. And now they set things up on offense. Trying to get it over is Collis, and it's going to be not getting it over, and it's going to be the 4th hit for Collis, and another point for Vermillion. And they finally take back a lead in this second set, 6-5. Stockwell will send it over. It's going to be set up by Zabel. Now knocked over by Whitehead, but there to retrieve it is Doty. And now trying to get the kick save, and it just hits the ground before getting the leg out there was Sandel. And another point for Vermillion. 7-5. Serving is Sydney Stockwell. Sends it over for the Tanagers, and then quickly on the second hit, just sending it right over is Kaya Jackson. And it worked because Vermillion was waiting for the setup, and it caught everybody out of position. So 7-6 now. Tanagers lead it by 1. Digging it up will be Shandy Ludwig. Quickly sending it back over and send it right into the chest of Zoe Zabel, and she holds it with her fist, hitting the ball, and it goes straight back towards her own team and not over the net. And it's another point for Vermillion, 8-6. Quickly a dig that's going to go just over the net, and not going to be able to do anything with it is Claire Doty, and a point for Lennox, 8-7. And now up to serve will be Courtney Sandel. Set up, and Kara Kalemi will hit it. This one will go just beyond everybody of Lennox. And another point for the Orioles, 8-8. Great crowd on hand, of course. Everybody wearing their mask here at the Vermillion High School, as that is mandatory when you're in the building. 8-8, as a little bit of a rally is going. Knutson has to try to save it, and she sticks out her right arm and is not able to, as it's going to continue to go down the line. And another point for Lennox, as they now lead it 9-8. Sandel up to serve once again. Sending it, it's going to go just beyond everybody, 9-9. So again, in Region 4, where Lennox and Vermillion both are, Vermillion is in first place at 1-1 on their season. Second is Elk Point Jefferson, who is in action tonight against Dakota Valley. And in this one, a great ace is going to be for Arlena Heil, as it went off the fingertips of Palmer in the wrong way. So Tanagers take back their lead. They now have it 10-9. And the regions, again, Canton at 1-2 in third place right now. Lennox in fourth at 0-1. And now, are we going to get a net violation? We are going to against the Tanagers. And another point for Lennox. So 10-10. And what has been moving a little bit slower of a second set, a little bit more errors, and includes a lot of these service errors. This is now the fourth one for Lennox, and Vermillion will take back the lead 11-10. As Kara Kalemi will be up to serve once again, just out of camera view, and she'll set up the ace. And Kara Kalemi now with her second ace of this game this evening. So 12-10. Kara again just up to serve and get it right on over. Hinker tries to set something up as she was leaning back, and as she was so, got a great hit on the ball, but just too far. And now Vermillion is on a good run here. They lead it 13-10. Again, they're on a 4-0 run, and now another point, as this one's going to be another mistake from Maddie Palmer, and another ace for Kara Kalemi as she continues. 14-10, and now Lennox wants a timeout as it's a 5-0 run for Vermillion. We'll step aside and take a break with them. We'll be back in just 30 seconds as you're watching Vermillion Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. Don't go anywhere.
We're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact from your agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
Back in Vermillion, as Jody Zeller, head coach for the Vermillion Tanagers, continues to have her conversation with the girls, and right now it's got to be a good conversation. A 5-0 run is what the Tanagers are on in this second set. As again, Vermillion won in their first set 25-22, and right now on a 5-0 run and lead at 14-10, as it was a timeout called by Lennox. As we're back in action, couple both saves by both teams, and now Knutson will send it too far, and that will finally end the 5-0 run that the Tanagers were on and give a point to Lennox, as again Knutson just sent it a little too far. 14-11. Kai Jackson up to serve for Lennox, sends it over, and now Stockwell trying to get the kill, and she will on that far side make it 15-11. Has not been a blowout in the first set or this second set so far. Again, Lennox has seen that situation. In fact, lost their first set of volleyball action this season against Garrettson 25-8. They were able to settle in those other couple of sets, and now trying to find the back line, or I should say the far line, as you see it on the camera, and it's going to go too far, and another point for Vermillion, 16-15, as that time trying to find it was Whitehead. They just couldn't quite get it over or right where she wanted to place it. And now trying to drift back and set something up and slip it off is Claire Doty. And it will be a point for Lennox, 16-12. 16-12. Again, the Tanagers have a 4-point lead. Knutson trying to get the kill here. Deku has to dive to the ground to keep it alive and does so with a nice job. Now trying to set it back up. Ludwig just has to get it over. She will do so. Now Lennox will get their opportunity to set it up. Clemmie digs it out of the back line. Stockwell gets it over, diving to the ground, and saving it this time is Hinker. Now this rally continues for both the Tanagers and Lennox. Who's going to get the point? 16-12. Clemmie back line will dig it back up, trying to set it up. Knutson with the chance to kill. No! It will stay alive once again. It's the longest set we have now seen. And this one is going to be set up in frustration, as it was Claire Doty who set it up and nobody there to come to finish it off for Vermillion. And that long rally will go the way of Lennox. 16-13, but that was the longest rally we've seen. And now at the line, diving to the ground, is going to be saved by Ludwig, but nobody else there to save it off, as Clemmie had the chase after it, but sent it straight into the crowd. 16-14, as now Lennox is on a little bit of their own run, trying to get back into it. And now this third hit will finally find its way over for the Tanagers. The first two were low into the ground. Now Knutson thought it might be going over. She could have, or excuse me, that was Kara Clemmie, who could have let it go over, but tried to save it and gets herself in trouble. And another point for Lennox. As mentioned, they're right back into it now, 16-15. And this one, did it find the line? It's going to be just out. Oh, that could have been a big ace to tie things up, but again, just out. And now 17-15. Ludwig will send it over for the Vermillion Tanagers. This one just out. So a couple service errors back to back on both teams makes it 17-16 here in the second set. Vermillion won the first one, 25-22. Sending over will be Kate Jackson. First time I've mentioned her name tonight. Kara Clemmie doesn't get enough on it with the wrist and will send it into the net, and we're tied up once again, 17-17. What has been a great game so far. Stockwell, first one, will receive it. Now trying to send it over. It's going to be a great kill by Lennox, and they get a point, 18-17, as they take their lead back for the first time when it was 10-9 before the Tanagers went on a 5-0 run. And now Stockwell has to dive to the ground to dig it up. 18-17. Vermillion sends it over, has to dig it out of the net, and on the third hit, they're not going to get it over. And it's another point for Lennox. Lennox has not won a set yet this season. Has an opportunity to win their first one, 19-17. First will be a Ludwig. Now trying to get the point. Not going to work out was Heil. Vermillion will set back up on offense. Stockwell sends it over, and it's going to be interference at the net that will go the way of Vermillion Tanagers with the point, as the net interference comes against Lennox, and it looked like Collis there was the one getting in trouble. Quick substitution as Zabel will come back on, and checking out for Lennox will be Kate Jackson. Back in, and it goes straight over to Mariah Whitehead, and she can't handle it properly, and it will be an ace for Stockwell, and we're tied up 19-19. 25-22 in the first one. And now another ace is going to come for Stockwell and the Vermillion Tanagers, as Sandal wasn't able to do anything, and now it's going to be a timeout called by Patrick Prudy with his team. And he's going to use a final timeout in this set to make sure his girls are organized. Again, 20-19. Again, we'll go to whoever first wins 3 sets. As we mentioned, taking a look at the standings right now, in Region 4, Vermillion stands at top with 1-1, but of course it comes down to the seed points at 41.5. It's where Vermillion finds themselves. Elk Point second, Canton third, Lennox fourth. Beersford is in fifth, and then I believe Dakota Valley and T are both getting their first games underway this evening. I know one is going on right now between Dakota Valley and Elk Point. We'll see if maybe we can't find you a score update from that one a little bit later on. Again, 20-19, the Tanagers trying to hold on and get the second set win. We'll see if they can do so. finally everybody has taken the court. We are ready to go once again. And this one is going to be served too long by Stockwell as the timeout worked for Patrick Prudy in his team, as it got Stockwell after 2 straight aces out of her comfort zone. 20-20. And now ready to serve will be Maddie Palmer. Palmer will send it over to Ludwig. Knutson trying to get the kill. Palmer has to dive to the ground and will keep things alive, and Lennox will send it over quickly. And now Vermillion has a chance with Knutson, and she'll send it down the line, and the leading killer for the Vermillion Tangers adds another one to her tally tonight, and Vermillion takes back the lead 21-20. Trying to take a 2-0 lead. And now sending it quickly over is Lennox. Vermillion has a chance with Clemmie to set something up. Not going to do so. The second one diving to the ground is Ludwig. She can't keep it alive, as I don't think Claire Doty was quite ready for it on the near line. It had to go just over over her head, and she turned around. Again, wasn't able to get it to it in time. 21-21. Ludwig sends it over. Sandel will save it at the very back line, and now Lennox just gets it barely over the net. Clemmie sends it over for the Tangers. Now Lennox will have a chance to set up once again. Not quite able to do so, and it's going to be trying to get the kill this time with Clemmie. This is the third hit, and Lennox is not going to be able to get it over, and another point for the Vermillion Tangers. So we bring back in the crowd once again tonight with Fuller Digital Solutions. 22-21. Lennox trying to serve something up and take back, or I should say tied up 22. Clemmie will send it over. This time it's going to be served up by Hinker, and finally Lennox is able to get the point, and we're tied back up 22-22. Quick substitutions are going to be made, and this next point will let the crowd take over. Again, 22-22. Here is the action from the court. And you could see it, confusion at the back line is the end result for Lennox, and a point for the Vermillion Tangers. As we bring in our crowd mic, and a little bit of chatter going on at one point, almost complete silence there from the Vermillion offense, but it works. And now a great serve and another ace from Kara Clemmie. That's number 5 for her, and another opportunity for Vermillion to win another set, 25-22. You would love to do it with Kara Clemmie. She's up to serve. She's going to hit it into the net. Lex trying to dig it up. They're going to send it over, and it's going to be sent back to Sandel. She's able to save it. Now Zabel gets it over. Back to Clemmie. Setting up quickly. Just send it back over for Vermillion. Now Zabel tries to get the kill. It's going to be hit to the back, and Ludwig can't send it the right direction. And it's a point for Lennox. And now 24-23. Up to serve now will be Kayla Jackson. 24-23. Knutson will get to it first. Stockwell trying to get the point. There to save it, though, is Ludwig. And now it's going to be sent right to a zone where nobody is at. And we're tied back up 24-24 between the Vermillion Tangers and the Lennox Orioles. And now we're going to get a timeout called here. In 24-24. The first set went to Vermillion, 25-22. And what has been a great second set. Timeout, of course, called by head coach Jody Zeller, as she was the one to use the timeout here, as Patrick Prudy of the Lennox Orioles has already used his 2 timeouts. Both timeouts, by the way, were successful in working and getting Vermillion out. We'll see what both teams decide to draw up. As Lennox is back out, they are ready to go once again. Head coach Jody Zeller continues to take her time. Says her final comments, and we're ready to go once again. 24-24. Serving it up will be Kayla Jackson. Send it up now will be trying to tip it back over. Both teams at the net there, and it will stay alive. And is now set up on offense. Stockwell trying to get the kill. Sandel will send it back up and set things up and into the ground. Knutson has to dive there, and she can't dig it up for Vermillion. And it's going to be a point for Lennox, 25-24. And now we look at the set point. We'll see who can get it, or if Vermillion can keep it alive here. The coup has it. Jackson trying to get to Zabel. The hard kill, and Zabel will do so. 26-24. And the second set will go to Lennox as they get the win in the second one. 26-24. Vermillion the first one, 25-22. Lennox in the second, 26-24. We'll step aside and be back with the third set. That's Tanager Volleyball presented 6-24. Vermillion the first one, 25-22. Lennox in the second, 26-24. We'll step aside and be back with the third set. That's Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll be back in just a moment.
West Ready Mix equipment for Vermillion.
We rent out and operate dozers, excavators. We also have aerial equipment.
Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix.
We got telehandlers, payloaders, skid loaders, just a lot of different equipment that we rent and we sell it too. And you can rent to buy. And you end up having it for 6 months. We'll give you a buyout option on that thing.
Call Dave Hertz, Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment. Vermillion. Easy to work with and not hard to find.
Radio family is growing. Now you can listen to all of the Vermillion Tanagers broadcast on 2 stations, 101.5 FM and AM 1570. When the Tanagers are playing, tune in to either 101.5 FM or AM 1570 to catch the voice of the Tanagers, Keith Nimke, for every play. In addition, we invite you to listen to all of our ESPN programming. We thank you for listening and our radio sponsors that allow us to broadcast all of the Vermillion Tanager sports on ESPN, 101.5 FM and AM 1570.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The Flexi Slide Bin, brought to you by Whirlpool.
Back here in Vermillion as we get you set for the third and undecisive set of volleyball between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Lennox Orioles. As the second set, Lennox is able to make a comeback with that 1 point. It was a good lead for Vermillion, including 21-16, but Lennox able to make that comeback and force it 24-24. Taking the last 2 points and getting the win, 26-24. And that first set again, Vermillion defeated Lennox 25-22. As we get set, Lennox will begin things with Kaya Jackson. As here we go, the third set, we are underway, and it's going to be a quick ace right away for Jackson. Great way to start for Lennox as it went straight to Ludwig and makes the wrong contact with it and sends it off into the stands of Vermillion. And then the service error gives a point straight to Vermillion. And we're quickly tied 1-1 in this third set. Again, coverage here with Fuller Digital Solutions when we'll have our next coverage when Vermillion travels to Bonhomme. That's coming up next Tuesday. Vermillion's next volleyball action, though, will be against South Sioux City of Nebraska, that is. That's coming up Thursday here at the Vermillion High School. So if you're not doing anything Thursday, great to have you come out here and watch some volleyball. Support the Tanagers. Vermillion leads in this third set 2-1. Zabel will just send it over, and now Ludwig trying to set something up, and it's going to be sent over by Amber Schultz. But Lennox was ready and then trying to get the hard kill, and was it tipped off somebody? They said it was. So, or excuse me. Yes, it was tipped off, as the judge is the one who sees it there, and Kara Kalemi did not know that it was a point for Lennox, and head coach Jody Zeller wants an explanation. She gets what she wanted, and we're tied back up 2-2. As now the officials are going to come together and see what the handle, and thought it might hit off the net there, was Jackson, and she didn't get a good play on it, and eventually misses the net, goes underneath, and it will be a point for the Vermillion Tanagers. They now lead it again 4-3. It's back into action, and nobody there to get it. Shandy Ludwig looking around at her teammates, thinking Knutson might have gotten there in time, and didn't happen. And we're tied back up 4-4 apiece. So Maddie Palmer will be the one to now hit it over. She'll send it over, and Vermillion trying to get a run going here, as this one is a nice kill right down the middle from Arlena Heil. 5-4 in the third set. Again, Lennox tonight, South Sioux City from Nebraska coming on Thursday. Another point for the Tanagers, now 6-4. Bonhomme on the road. Again, we'll have coverage before Tri-Valley, Madison, and Garrettson all at home. And, of course, that's if this season happens. With COVID-19, you worry about that a little bit with Vermillion Tanagers and just in Vermillion in general, as I know the college is getting close to hitting 600 students and staff infected by COVID-19. So again, you hope everything can remain safe within the high school and around Vermillion. Have that kind of question is a matter of time. As back into action here, it's a point that's going to go too far, as Kara Kalemi trying to get it the kill, and again sends it too far. It's going to be a point for Lennox. Now 7-5 after the Tanagers went on a 3-0 run. Courtney Sandel will send it back over for Lennox. 7-5, and now Knutson send it. Sandel has to just dig it out, and it goes right back to her. Now these two teams, and Sandel, and Knutson are just playing back and forth now. Vermillion will set it up and will find a great spot, as DeCou, I think, thought it might have gone beyond her. But it's a point again for Vermillion, and it's back to 8-5. And with 13 points, we now bring in the crowd once again, as serving up will be Eva Knutson. And this one will go right into the net. So 8-6. Again, we now bring in the crowd mic for this next point. Who is it going to go to? Is it going to go to Lennox or Vermillion? Here we go with the sounds from the court. And the point goes to Lennox this time, as Lennox is able to find a hole on the front line of the Tanagers and get just right by where maybe Arlena Heil should have been. So a point for Lennox, and now makes it 8-7. So we're back underway. Lennox again in their orange uniforms, and Vermillion in their all black. On the third hit, the Tanagers aren't going to get it over. Two digs that had to go all the way to the hardwood, but nothing working for Vermillion, and we're tied up once again 8-8. That's been kind of through these first three sets. It's been back and forth from both teams. And now a great kill for the Tanagers, as it was hit hard by Vermillion and took a couple deflections and finally found its way into the back wall. And now up the serve will be Heil for Vermillion. Again with that 9-8 lead. DeCou will be the first one to make contact with it. Sending it quickly over Zabel on the third strike for the Lennox Orioles, and then Vermillion able to get it over with Claire Doty right into the Bermuda Triangle, and Vermillion with another point, making it 10-8. They're on a 2-0 run. And now an ace is going to come, as right now Heil has it going. That's her third ace of the evening. 11-8, trying to keep this run alive. Back in action, sends it right to Sandel. Having to chase after it close to the bleachers is Jackson. And finally, Lennox is able to get it over. Claire Doty at the net just sends it over. But Lennox was ready. Now Vermillion will set up on offense with Clemmy. She tries to send it into the netting, and that will be the fourth hit as she can't get it over. Someone from Vermillion tries to save it in the netting. That was Amber Schultz. But again, it was the fourth hit nonetheless, and it will be a point for Lennox. 11-9. Here in the third set. We are going to go to a fourth set no matter what. The question is who's going to be having the lead going into that fourth set. That's what we're determining right now. 11-9, and sending it over nicely and finding the point is Claire Doty as she's starting to find her spot along this near side and not spending too much time, just getting it quickly over. She's now gotten a couple kills. In fact, actually 4 here in this third set. 12-9, and now error trying to get it back over, and another point for Vermillion. 13-9. As they're building on a little bit of a lead, the question is, can they keep this lead now? 13-9, and now a service is out. It looked like it was close to get inside, but again, it's a service error as it goes just out. So now coming back in will be Mariah Hinker, who was spending some time there on the sidelines. And back over and quickly over the netting is Claire Doty. She continues to find her rhythm. Another point for the Vermillion Tanagers, and now 14-10. And for Vermillion, that's what they have to do, is just kind of build on this momentum. And right there at the back line is going to go just a little too far. It's going to be a point for Lennox, 14-11. Head coach Jody Zeller out of her seat, where she's actually been out of her seat all night and communicating with her team. And now a quick ace for Lennox as it went right into Ludwig, and she was kind of drifting away, had to put up both arms and just wasn't settled in. 14-12. Lennox now on a little bit of their own 2-0 run, and trying to get the kill this time is Doty, but it's going to be saved by Lennox. They finally get it over on their third hit. Doty will serve it up to Schultz. Schultz doesn't make good contact with it. Now Lennox trying to cook with something. It's with Ludwig having to get it over. It's Claire Doty. She does so with now Sandel. Back the other way comes Lennox on the back line, and they get it in on a nice kill from Collis, who has been quiet as of late. In fact, her first kill of this set, 14-13. And again, Vermillion Tanagers and Lennox tied 1-1 with a set apiece. And now, having to get it over is Knudsen. Vermillion on defense trying to get set as Collis comes back with a strong arm, and Vermillion, after the second hit, is going to save it. Now Knudsen has to chase after it. She will do so on the third hit, getting it over. Now Lennox not in their right positions on offense. Has to watch Vermillion come back with a quick kill as it one goes into the head of Jackson. She's able to get the hands up in time to protect her face, but a great kill by the leader and kills Knudsen. And Vermillion keeps it at a 2-point lead, 15-13. Ludwig will send it over, again supporting the white jersey for the Tanagers, being the defensive specialist. And now this one goes beyond with Mariah Whitehead. As we're now going to get a couple of substitutions, as coming in will be Danny Heigem. Haven't called her name much tonight. And now this one is going to go on the back line, having to save it. And it does go too far is Zoe Zabel, and it will go down as an ace for Shandy Ludwig. And now 17-13. Vermillion, a little bit of their own run in trying to find the near line, just goes out of bounds. And it's going to be a point for Lennox. And Lennox right now, they need to get a couple points to keep it close with the Vermillion Tanagers. See if they can do so. And it's going to be sent into the netting by Sandal. And it'll be a free point for Vermillion. They like to see that one, 18-14. Now Emily Stockwell will send it over. Palmer will dig it up, and Deku will just send it softly over, and it caught Vermillion out of guard with Knutson along with Heil. And I believe it was Knutson there who was the last one to make contact, just trying to get it back over, but sends it too far out of bounds. 18-15. Ludwig make first contact for the Vermillion Tanagers, and now trying to send it across court, and not able to do so is Knutson, and it's 2 quick points once again for the for Lennox, making it 18-16. And now Vermillion just quickly sends it over, playing at the net, and it's going to be a point as it was a carry for the Tanagers. And again, don't want the carries as you're a Tanager. Now make it 18-17. Lennox trying to get back into it. Right now they're doing so. Again, it was just 17-14 a moment ago. It looked like Vermillion was going to be able to maybe pull away from Lennox. And now into the netting as it's going to hit Knutson and Heil at the netting and come right back towards Lennox. And it hits the ground, and a point for Vermillion, 19-17. As now up will be Knutson to serve. Eva sends it over right to Sandal. Jackson will set it up and trying to get it, and knocked back over by Hinker. And Vermillion trying to set up on offense, not doing so cleanly, but Ludwig is able to dig it out and send it back over for the Tanagers. And now Kalemi with a strong kill as it deflects. No, it says it hits off the net. Looked like it might have deflected off of a couple players of Lennox. It does not. So again, the point goes to Lennox, and now 19-18. And now up to serve for Lennox will be Ashlyn Rust. Hasn't seen too much action here tonight. Sends it over. Vermillion has to get it quickly back over themselves. A little bit of a rally going. Ludwig trying to get the kill. It's going to send it right to Sandal. Now set up by Jackson. Coming in strong is Zabel. But nothing happening as Vermillion was ready on defense. Trying to set up now as two Lennox Orioles run into each other. They're okay, and back continues this rally, and it was going out. Oh my goodness, it was going out, but Ashlyn Rust puts up her hands to try to save it and sends it into the Lennox student section, and another point for Vermillion, and they now make it 20-18 in this third set, trying to take a 2-1 lead. Go into that fourth set, try to finish things off. And now this one's going to be dug up. It's going to be saved. Can Vermillion get it back in? No, they can't. And it's 20-19. So Lennox trying to tie it back up once again. We'll bring in the crowd for this next point, seeing if Orioles can tie it up, if Vermillion can continue with a 2-point lead and try to finish off this third set. So here it is, the crowd to bring you this next point. And unfortunately, it's going to go the way of Lennox, if you're a Tanagers fan, as it was Amber Schultz who just sent it into the netting. And we're tied up once again, 20-20. And this third set, whoever wins it will take that 2-1 lead. And now this one on a service error by Sandal, set right into the net, gives Vermillion a point back. And now up is Kara Kalemi. Kara trying to finish it off, already with 6 aces tonight, and she sends it right into the net. 21-21 now. As now up will be Hinker for Lennox. She'll send it over. It'll be Ludwig who will get to it first and quickly send it over as Claire Doty. And Lennox maybe wasn't quite ready as they're able to make first contact, but nothing doing on the second one, trying to set something up with their offense. And it's a point for Vermillion, 22-21. Knutson will come back in. Coming out will be Claire Doloff. And Doty up to serve. She'll send it over right straight to Deku into the netting. Lex tries to save it, not able to do so, and it's a point for the Vermillion Tanagers, 23-21. Vermillion trying to finish off this final set here, and now a timeout is going to be called by Lennox. We'll step aside and take the break with them. You're listening to Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll be back in just a moment.
Make space for tall items. Quickly and easily move the bins side to side for convenient storage options. The Flexi Slide Bin, brought to you by Whirlpool.
But once again, 23-21 here in this third set. It will be serving things up will be Claire Doty, trying to finish this one off for the Vermillion Tanagers, as Lennox will set up on offense, and now they send it over with Vermillion with a chance, and it'll be Knutson who sends it right into the netting, and it's going to be a point for Lennox. There's a couple substitutions as Zabel will come out, and coming in will be Kate Jackson to serve. Again, what's been a close one, 23-22. Knutson trying to get a tough kill, but it's going to be blocked at the netting, but it's going to go too far and out of bounds. That a great block for Lennox, but again, just not able to send it down, but instead kind of send it up in the air and then off into the student section for the Tanagers. So 24-22. Ludwig will be the one to serve, trying to finish it off in this third set, tied 1-1 apiece. Deku will set it up, and now quickly Lennox just pops it over. Claire Doty has it, sends it to Stockwell. It's going to be blocked down at the line. The second hit, and it's finally going to be knocked over in the third one for the Tanagers. 24-22. Vermillion trying to finish off this set. Set up, but not going to be nicely to Stockwell, and they're going to have to just send it over. And now it's going to be two hits that is going to be called on Lennox Orioles, and that will do it for the third set as Lennox is able, or I should say Vermillion is able to get the third set win, 25-22 over Lennox, and Vermillion now takes a 2-1 set lead over the Lennox Orioles. We'll be back in just a moment with the fourth set that's on the way here from the Vermillion High School as you're listening and watching Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions.
Digital Solutions started a little over 6 years ago doing Facebook Live videos for a couple ball games. And little did we know we'd have the 2020 pandemic and so many reasons for doing live streams on our new YouTube channel. We have 12 schools we cover: Mississippi, South Dakota, and Iowa. And we're always growing. If you're interested in working with FDS as camera operator or play-by-play for the many sports we cover, or if you would like to use our services to live stream your event, email us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com and subscribe to Fuller Digital Solutions on YouTube.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Senior night, Vermillion Tanagers trying to get the win over the Lennox Orioles. So we're going to get set for the fourth set in action. Great to have you along with Fuller Digital Solutions. I'm Heath Nimke, and again, we're going to be covering volleyball throughout this season. Mostly home games, but our next game comes up for the Vermillion Tangers will be on the road as they will be taking on Bonhomme on Tuesday. And again, we will have that coverage right here with Fuller Digital Solutions as Lennox will come back out here in this fourth set. It's been a crazy one so far. Vermillion won the first set 25-22. Lennox won the second one 26-24. And then Vermillion is able to win that third set 25-22. And they will look to see if they can't finish things off here in the fourth set. So everybody gets kind of set and ready to go as we are almost ready as well. As we're almost there, as a couple things are getting confirmed here. And it looks like we're about ready to finally go. Serving things up, by the way, for the Vermillion Tangers will be Kalemi as the ball is rolled to her. And here we go. As Kalemi coming in so far has been amazing in aces. And so far this evening through 3 sets has already gotten 7. Looking for number 8 and to get Vermillion off to a 1-0 lead. In this fourth set, we are underway. As digging it up there will be Deku and sent over by Lennox. Vermillion quickly back over. Now Lennox has the chance to get the first point. It's sent to Kalemi as she tries to sidearm it and save it. She can't. And it will be an opening point to begin for Lennox. And they lead it 1-0. Now quickly coming out will be Maddie Palmer. And coming in will be Whitehead for Lennox. And 1-0. Here in this fourth set, if Vermillion can win it, they'll move to 2-1 on the season, send Lennox to 0-2. And now, having a third one, get it over is Stockwell. Finally able to do so. Now Lennox, a good opportunity to try to build on their lead, but Ludwig is able to play defensively. And now into the netting. Kalemi has to set it up and will send it over to Stockwell. Stockwell not liking it, just has to send it. As the rally is on for both teams. Who's going to get it? Set nicely for Stockwell, but Sandel diving to the ground and keeping it alive for Lennox. Now hitting off the top of the netting as Lennox just sends it back over. As the rally continues, looking for this second point. And the fourth set, and now Stockwell sends it back over for the Tangers into the netting. And finally, it goes to the point for the Vermillion Tangers as Vermillion, it's their first time on a long rally, they are able to get a point. The other 2 long rallies that we've really seen tonight have both gone to Lennox. And now this one is going to hit off the line as Sandel saw it coming in, decided to back away, thought it would just go out of bounds, and it doesn't. And it's a point and an ace for Claire Doty. 2-1. As Doty up to serve once again. Now the picture frame and comes back in. As Vermillion again trying to build on a 2-1 lead. Stockwell sends it over. It's going to be just too far. And a point for Lennox. 2-2 now. We'll see if maybe we can't find you some scores from around volleyball here in Class AA, A, and B. As I know there's a few games going on around the area. We'll see what we can find for you. It's back into action here. It's a point for Lennox. And Lennox now leads it 3-2. Again, if we get there this season as well, the State Volleyball Championships coming up November 19th through the 21st. And everybody looking to get there. And now another point for Lennox. And it goes 4-2. Sandel on a little bit of a nice streak here. She's going to send it, though, just as I say that, too far. And a free point for the Vermillion Tangers. Again, the 1st of September as we got underway. Crazy to think about, just a week ago. So far, what should be coming up on scores is not working here for me. And now one at the netting. I think Vermillion hits about 4 or 5 times trying to dig it out there. They're not able to do so. Another point for Lennox. Again, Lennox needs to win this set to force the 5th and final one. and they're doing so at a nice rate right now, 6-3, as another ace comes in for Kate Jackson. So 6-3 now. Better update the stream here. So again, sorry for not moving the camera as well, just where we're set up at the angle. Don't have kind of the opportunity to move the candle as much, as getting pretty close, by the way. 6-4, but I want to say getting close to 1,000 digs as Shandy Ludwig gets even closer to that mark. She came into this evening at 965, and the team is ready to celebrate. I believe she's 1 or 2 away from that mark, and now a point that's going to be going for Lennox as it's sent too far. Trying to get it cross court was Knutson and couldn't quite do so. So 7-4, Maddie Palmer up to serve. Sent it over, and it's going to be way too far. She sent that one on a skyrocket trip. And again, it continues to stay. Now 7-5, as Vermillion really hasn't had a lead. And this time, it's going to be an ace for Knutson. So I was just saying, haven't really had the lead here in this fourth set. But that ace draws it a point closer. 7-6, and now she sends this one right into the netting. It was close to sneaking over for Knutson, and not able to do so. Hinker will now be set to serve, and an 8-6 lead for Lennox. Set it up and put it over. Ludwig will have to try to get something going, and she can't do so, as chasing after it was Heil, and Heil made the wrong contact with it and sent it into the back wall. This has been for sure the most flustered I have seen the Vermillion Tanagers in a set. But they got plenty of time to get back into it, just 9-6. Claire Doty tries to catch Lennox off guard and sending it back over, not able to do so. Then DeCou tries to make a quick kill, but not able to get it over the netting. Sends it right in, and a point for Vermillion, 9-7. And again, Hoyle will now be the one to serve it up. Back in action, 9-7. It goes straight to Arlena Hoyle, and she can't make the right contact and will send it out of bounds. And another point for Lennox as they keep it just at that 2-3 mark, not letting Vermillion get any closer. 10-7. Staku will be the one to serve. Knutson gets to it first, now by Doty, and knocked over by Kalemi, as Kalemi got a good look at it and just sent it across court for Vermillion. And another point for the Tanagers as they bring it back within 2. And now up to serve is Kalemi, who's gotten a few aces so far this evening. Sends it over, Palmer there to get it nicely. And now Zabel trying to get it just into the middle area when nobody covering for the Tanagers, and able to do so, 11-8. And then back to that 3-point lead. Let's go back into the crowd as this next point will be all crowd and what they have tonight here at the Vermillion High School gym. And Ace will keep it with the crowd as Lennox now builds up to a 12-8 lead. Back into the crowd. And a quick one on a service error. So 12-9. We'll see what Claire can do as keep that crowd mic alive. And right now, Lennox has just had the number of Vermillion here in this fourth set as they continue to keep a steady lead right now, 13-9, as Sandal the one up to serve for Lennox. He's trying to get it over his Schultz. She will do so. Set by Jackson, now just sent over by Hinker. And at the line, trying, or I should say at the net, trying to save it there. Stockwell does, and Knutson will send it over to get the point for the Vermillion Tanagers. And what a great effort by Vermillion with Stockwell and Knutson to get it over and to keep that one alive and end up getting the point for Vermillion as they needed it. Ludwig up to serve. She's gotten just one ace so far this evening. Sending it over. She'll pop it up in the air. And Doty will save, and sending it over will be Stockwell. And now back into the netting. And this one is going to be a point for the Tanagers, as rising up there was Mariah Hinker, but sent it into the netting with not enough force to get it over. And it's back up to now 13-11. As Vermillion trying to get back into it and win this fourth set and win this evening. 13-11. And now this one continues to stay alive. Stockwell's going to send it over and gets the kill. And another point for the Vermillion Tanagers, as they are now on a 3-0 run and make it 13-12 with Shandy Ludwig up to serve. This time she's going to send it into the netting, as she looked off balance that time going up on the serve. 14-12. Lennox trying to finish this one off and again send it to a fifth and final decisive set. Set up, and Ludwig will put it up there, and now Knutson battling with Hinker at the line, and it's going to be saved by Hinker and Lennox, but then sending it too far just beyond the back line is Mariah Whitehead, and it's a point for the Tanagers as they keep it at that 1 point mark. As serving will be Stockwell. 14-13. Sets it up and will send it over. Lennox trying to continue to keep this lead, win this fourth set, and now a great hit by Clemmy to get another kill, and we're tied 14-14 as Vermillion is just playing mistake-free volleyball here on this big run that they're on. Back on a 5-0 run, and now a great kill climbing at the net there is Arlena Heil, and this is the first time the Tanagers have had the lead in set number 4 since they had the lead 2-1, and now 15-14, 10 points away. A lot can still happen. Lennox will send it over. There is now Ludwig, as I was off on her dig count. She's got a few more, but she does try to get closer to 1,000. It's another point for the Tanagers, making it 16-14, and now a timeout is going to be called by Patrick Prudy. We'll take a quick break with them. You're listening to Tanager Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll be back in just a moment.
We're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact from your agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
To 14 here in this fourth set, as Vermillion trying to finish things off against Lennox Orioles here, as we're back into action here at Vermillion High School, and this one is going to get beyond the reach as a great send-over, this time by Jackson, and it gets just past Claire Doty, and another point. So again, Lennox, after having a lead for a majority, now makes it 16-15, and a quick one set back over on a great ace play there, as Doty at the net tried to stick out her arm to keep it alive and couldn't, and we're tied 16-16. Again, what could be this final set? Taking it up now will be Ludwig, sending it quickly over is Knutson on the kill. She'll get so, and a point for Vermillion, 17-16. Maddie Palmer will come back in. Knutson will also check out as Emily Nall, the senior, will step on. So we're ready to go once again. Nall will send it over on a great set. Now Sandel, put it back to Stockwell at the line. Kalemi trying to knock it over, will do so. Almost caught Lennox out of position. Now trying to dig it up and send it over will be the Tangers. Nice diving to the ground, though, to keep this one alive was Shandy Ludwig. Now in the net, Doty keeps it alive, and Vermillion able to send it back over once again. And finally, as it's a one that's going to be popped up, and Lennox is not happy about this as they want this one along the netting. What is it going to be called? As the officials are going to come together, as right now Vermillion looks like they got a good point. 18-16 as it stands. And they are going to give it to Vermillion. As right now, Lennox is not happy. As Patrick Prudy wants an explanation. Doesn't get a whole lot. And we're ready to go once again, 18-16. Now we'll send it over, and it was going to be too far. So 18-17. No surprise here as this fourth and maybe final set is going down to the wire. Again, Vermillion won the first one 25-22. Lennox the second one 26-24. And now Vermillion with the third set won it 25-22. And a service error makes it now 19-17. As it will be up to serve will be Heil. Heil 19-17. Sends it to Sandel. Lennox will set it up, trying to get the kill as Coyle, and she won't be able to do so. And now Kalemi knocks it over. Sable just pops up in the air. Sandel not going to get there in time as she had to chase it over into the near corner, just out of the picture frame. And it's going to be a point for Vermillion, making it now 20-17. Sending it over, and it's going to be just too far, just beyond the line, and a point for Lennox once again. I guess that one went just beyond the line, 20-18, and then this one is sent right into the netting by Deku. So 21-18. Vermillion 4 points away from winning the fourth and maybe final set of this evening. Set up, and this one's going to be Deku as it's finally sent over by Jackson just on the second hit. No need to pressure too much. And this one's going to be set perfectly as Stockwell gets the nice kill, makes it 22-18. And Vermillion now with their biggest lead here in this fourth set, 22-18. And Patrick Prudy wants a timeout for Lennox. As we're going to keep it right here. See, as I mentioned, can't find some score updates from around the state of South Dakota when it comes to volleyball. Right now, one I do know of, Elk Point Jefferson leads it 2-1 over Dakota Valley. Trying to see if maybe Watertown beat Harrisburg in 3-0, 25-21, 25-14, and 25-23. And I don't believe, as of right now, seen any other scores. As that's a quick look, as trying to find something, but not going to. So 22-18, those are the couple of scores as we're back into action here. Vermillion trying to finish it off in the fourth set. This one's going to be blocked at the line as it never got to the netting. Then it came right back to her. So on a second hit, it will be a point for Lennox, 22-19. And now Lennox trying to get back into it. They've had success doing so. Diving to the ground and saving it is Ludwig. And now at the netting, it's going to be knocked over on a strong kill by Zoe Zabel, as Doty was there, but not able to send it back the way, 22-20. Jackson will be the one serving, sends it over, and Vermillion miscommunication right into the netting, and it's another point for Lennox, makes it 22-21 now. And now a conversation is going to be had by Jody Zeller as she wants a timeout. We'll take the timeout with her. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Tanger Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions.
Clay County Abstract and Title Company has a complex job that boils down to something very simple: helping you purchase your dream with confidence. When investing in a new home, a new site for your business, or piece of property, you want peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Clay County Abstract and Title Company has been doing just that since 1946. Clay County Abstract and Title Company, proud supporters of Vermillion activities and proud to be a part of your dreams come true.
Back here in Vermillion, 22-21, with Vermillion Tangers holding just a 1-point lead, trying to win this fourth and final set, as we have a rally that's going on. I believe, by the way, that Shandy Ludwig might be at 1,000 digs, and it's not going to happen the way she wants to, as she's able to dig it up, but it's a point that's going to go for Lennox. And with that, Shandy Ludwig, even with the unsuccessful one, does hit 1,000 digs. As you can see her, she finally stands up as a Vermillion Tanager volleyball uniform. She hits 1,000.
Dedication and wild save to the game of volleyball. We appreciate you, Shandy, and I'm glad that you were on our side of the court. Keep digging them up, kiddo.
As Coach Zeller mentioned to me in off-air, she said no matter, Heath, what we're at in the game, when she hits 1,000, if she hits 1,000, we're going to celebrate it. And it's an intense moment right now as we are tied 22-22. And with this, it's going to be an ace, and Lennox takes back a lead 23-22. As again, Lennox trying to win this fourth set, and now a timeout is going to be had by head coach Jody Zeller. So we'll take the break with her. We'll be back in just a moment as you're watching Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions.
We're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
If your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
23-22, Lennox trying to finish it off and force that fifth and final set, as Vermillion trying to get back into it. What has been a close every single set, and now a hard send over by Lennox, and it's going to be a kill. And they put Vermillion now up to the ropes, 24-22, trying to get the win here. And again, finish that sentence to that fifth and final set. Are we going to see it? As here we go, Jackson will send it over, 24-22. Stockwell has it, sends it over for the Tangers. Lennox will keep it alive though. At the net, Zabel sends it over for Lennox, but Vermillion ready to deal with it on defense. Now Ludwig trying to finish this one off and keep it alive for the Tangers. Now Stockwell at the netting. She sends it right into the net, and it's a point for Lennox. And we're tied, sets 2-2, and we will go into that fifth. 15 points between the Vermillion Tangers and the Lennox Orioles. As we'll see if we'll take too much of a time, and of course we'll flip that coin to see who is going to serve it between Lennox and Vermillion. But why they do that, we're going to take a quick break here and be back with that fifth and final set. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. We'll be back in just a moment.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
It's the fifth and decisive set. Tanagers trying to get to 2-1, whereas Lennox is trying to find their first win on the season. As again, it has been a back and forth affair. Vermillion won the first set 25-22. Lennox the second 26-24. Vermillion the third 25-22. And then Lennox this fourth set 25-22. And again, what has been close throughout, who is going to take this fifth and decisive set? Vermillion takes the court. Again, they're all black uniforms, numbers and letters that are in red with the red stripe that runs down for the sleeving. Lennox in their orange jerseys, black pants with the numbers and letters that are in black. As the Tanager fans starting to get into it a little bit more. As here we go, it will be Lennox to serve. So we'll get the final check-ins, and we're ready to go between Lennox and the Vermillion Tanagers to see who is going to get the win tonight at the Vermillion High School Gym. We're underway as Knutson with the first one to dig it up for the Tanagers. Send it over now. Lennox trying to make something happen. It's Zabel with a strong kill. Anybody there to deflect it? A conversation finally is going to be called. A quick call by announcer here tonight for a point for the Tanagers before the officials actually made the call. But they do agree, and we're now 1-0. Kalemi will send it over. Trying for Vermillion to take this lead, and it's going to just hit the corner as it looked like Ludwig thought that was going to go a little too far, but it doesn't. It finds its home in that back corner, and we're now tied 1-1. Just past 9 o'clock. Here we go, Tanagers with Stockwell. Sends it over. Picked up nicely by Lennox and sends it over just on the second hit, and now trying to get it over will be Kalemi, and she'll do so. And now Stockwell at the netting, and quickly Lennox diving is Whitehead, and she had to save it. Or excuse me, that was Zabel, but continues to keep this rally alive, and finally it tips off the backside of the fingertips of Amber Schultz and will continue to bleed its way back, and it will be a point for Lennox. 2-1 now, and this one will go out as it's just beyond the reach of Knodel, which is a good thing. 2-2. Again, we go to 15 points, or until someone wins by 2. Doty will send it over as she's the one to serve, and now this one is going to be hitting just wrong for Mariah Whitehead. She's looking to send it over, and couldn't quite make the right movement with her hands and accidentally kind of lost the slipping and sent it right into the net. 3-2 now. Vermillion back with a 1-point lead. It's controlled by Ludwig. Now setting up for Stockwell, and Stockwell accidentally sends it into the netting. She's just trying to get it to tip over and not able to do so. And it remains now 3-3. A very close one between Lennox and Vermillion. And now an ace as Sandel sends it over. Knutson just pops it up in the air and will head into the bleachers of Vermillion. Makes it 4-3. Never seen a team have a bigger than a 1-point lead. Knutson has it. It's going to be blocked down at the line, and then we're going to get some a fourth hit, I believe is what it was called instead, on Vermillion. And Lennox will get a point as it's now 5-3. And it will be over for Lennox. Is serving up there. This time was Jackson. Now Lennox has it, trying to just knock it over softly. Doty there was saving to make sure it didn't get past anybody at Vermillion. Still 5-3. Knutson trying to get the kill, but Lennox is ready. Setting over to Koo. Just knocks over slightly, but getting it right back is Knutson. Beyond the reach of Hinker, and a big point for the Vermillion Tanagers. Looked like a big rally might have been on, but Knutson comes up with the big point. 5-4 now, as Ludwig will be the one to serve. Set it up and knock it over. Sandal off balance will set it up, and just sending it over now will be Hinker. And now at the line, it's going to be blocked down by DeCou, but Vermillion keeps alive. Now Stockwell just sends it over. Hinker sends it over quickly. Going to the knee is Doty to keep it alive, and then just tipping it over nicely there. It's Knutson, but once again, saving it is Lennox. They send it over, trying to send it right back is Knutson and Heil, and they're not able to do so as it falls down on their side of the netting. And another big point for Lennox, 6-4, as Vermillion needs to get on a little bit of a run. Stop this streak that Lennox is building. 6-4, Knutson sends it over. And now set up with Jackson, trying to get the kill is DeCou, and she can't, as it's saved nicely by Doty. Now just sent over by Ludwig, but it's going to be just beyond the line. And a point for Lennox, as they are now on a 3-0 run. And now a timeout is going to be called by head coach Jody Zeller. Will take the break with her. We'll be back in just a moment as you're watching Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions.
Considering a new roof, you want to put your roof in the hands of Dave's Roofing. Dave's Roofing specializes in residential roofing and has over 10 years of experience. Dave's Roofing covers any job from a 60 to 80 mile radius of Sioux City and has a 10-man crew that completes most jobs in one day. Dave's Roofing will make sure the cleanup job is done right afterwards too. And the products installed are impact rated and eligible for homeowners insurance discounts. Look up Dave's Roofing on Facebook and check out the work that's been done and customer testimonials.
Vermillion Medical Clinic has an ongoing mission to provide areas with quality health care and convenient access to medical professionals. Our patients at Vermillion Medical Clinic value our dedicated primary care physicians, compassionate PAs, and consistently scheduled outreach specialty care. If you have health questions, need a screening, or have medical concerns for yourself or family members, call us for an appointment or visit VermillionMedicalClinic.com. So much care, so close to home.
Back into action here at the Vermillion High School, as right now it's 7-5, and on the fourth hit, Vermillion not able to get over the net, and it's going to be a point back for Lennox. So 8-5, as again going to 15, win by 2. And Lennox is closing even quicker on that gap, leading it by 3. Knutson trying to get a big kill, and staying there tall at the net is DeCou, but she's not able to knock it up in any good direction, and it will fall down. Not able to save it there was Collis, and a point for Vermillion. Good time to start a run. 8-6, trailing by 2. Collis tries to send it over. It was saved there for a moment by Heil at the netting, but nobody there to back her up. And another point for Lennox. 9-6 now. As again, this is the 5th and final set. It's now up to serve will be Ashlyn Rust. Sends it over. Right there is Ludwig. Clemmie just pops it over. But Lennox ready. Jackson now just sends over. Right to Doty. Set up nicely. Clemmie trying to get a kill. It was tipped. It was... looked like that was tipped, and it wasn't, they say. And it's going to be a point for Lennox. So 10-6 now. Lennox has a 4-point lead. The biggest lead, 5 more, and they'll get the win here in Vermillion. Sent to Knutson. Popped up by Ludwig, and now sent over. Palmer to Jackson to Collis. Collis sends it over, but Vermillion ready. Now two run into each other for Tanagers, but they're able to get it over. 10-6, and finally over the netting, as it just going to tip off of Doty, who is trying to save it there and not able to, and again goes off of her and out of bounds, and another point for Lennox makes it 11-6, and now a timeout is going to be wanted by head coach Jody Zeller. Will take the timeout with her and be back. You're watching Vermillion Tanager Volleyball, presented by Fuller Digital Solutions.
We're buying a bigger home.
A 4-bedroom, but, with room to grow.
Your ocular cavity is malfunctioning.
Because we want kids.
Calculating offspring life insurance.
No, wait. We only have a cat.
Calculating farm insurance.
Is there somebody else who can help us?
Only a human who knows you can create a plan that's right for you. That's why for 80 years we've built relationships first and plans second. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Contact Farm Bureau Agent Debbie Profrock in Vermillion at 605-624-3011.
11-6, Vermillion trailing it by 5. If they want to get back into this, they need some points right now. They need to stop this run that Lennox is on. Here we go in the 5th and final set, and this one is going to be saved into the bleachers by Ludwig, but it's going to save it to Doty, and she's not able to dig it out of the netting. And another point for Lennox, as they are now 3 away, 12-6, as all momentum is starting to drift away from the Tanagers. Clemmy just knocks it over, but Lennox is ready. Jackson sets it up. Collis there, and it's going to dug up by Shandy Ludwig. Sent back over by the Tanagers, trying to end this run. Lennox is on, 12-6. Knutson sets it up. Now Doty just sends it over, and it's going to work. It's going to work. It catches Lennox out of position, and it's a big point for the Vermillion Tanagers as they needed it. 12-7. Again, going to 15, and right now, that's all Lennox needs is 3 points. As High will be the one to serve. Back into action. Collis is going to knock it over. Trying to make contact, maybe a little bit, was Amber Schultz there at the netting, but not able to do a whole lot. And another point for Lennox. 13-7. We'll keep it right here and wrap it up right after the end of this one. 13-7. As again, Vermillion trying to keep things alive. And this 5th and final set. Knock it over, battle at the netting, and finally Lennox is able to get it back over as they were on their 3rd hit. Now set up to Clemmy as it's going to be blocked down, and it's going to go out of bounds. As a big point comes from the Tanagers. Clemmy went up and battled tough there against Collis and Zabel, and they both made contact with it, but it went out of bounds. 13-8 as now Clemmy is up to serve. Puts it up there nicely. Zabel sets it up, and now just have to send it over is Whitehead, and she's going to send it too far across court on a turnaround, and it's going to be another point for Vermillion. 13-9 as the crowd starting to get back into it a little bit for the Vermillion Tanagers. 13-9. So we're back into action, just trying to get it over. Doty there to save it, and there's going to be a net interference called against Lennox, and it makes it 13-10. And a big point there, and a big ace from Kara Kalemi, as ducking out of the way was Zoe Zabel, as she had Deku right behind her, but Zabel was wondering why she ducked out of the way. And a big point for the Vermillion Tanagers after it was 13-7. Vermillion is now on a 4-0 run and have made it 13-11 with a chance to get back into it and have an opportunity to maybe still squeeze out the win against Lennox. Again, we're in the 5th and final decisive set. Vermillion won the first one, Lennox the second one. Vermillion the third, Lennox the fourth. And basically, Lennox has had the lead this entire fifth set. But now a good opportunity for Vermillion to get back into it. 13-11, here we go. It's set up, trying to get knocked over, and it's going to be popped over by Lennox, and now Vermillion has a chance to set it up, and with the kill, Stockwell is going to get it. She was set up perfectly and is able to get it over for the kill, and makes it now 13-12. As Vermillion a chance to tie it up. Kara Clemmy to serve it. She sends it right into the netting. Oh no. Sends it right into the netting. So this is the chance for Lennox to get the win. 14-12. Sandel sends it over. Dug up by Ludwig. Sent to Knutson. She sends over. Sandel to Jackson to Hinker along the line and sent back over. Now go the Tanagers. As now Lennox will set back up. Just having to send it over is Zabel. There to pop it up will be Clemmy. Now having to get it over will be Amber Schultz. 14-12. Lennox trying to get the win here. A little off balance, but Hinker sends it over. As a little bit of a rally is going now. This one popped up high in the air. It's being popped back and forth just on one hit. And now Lennox trying to serve it up, and they can't, as just sending it straight down is Danny Hyam. And it's a point for Vermillion. 14-13. And now up to serve will be Claire Doty. The setter puts it up, and she's going to get it over. Lennox trying to get the win. It's going to be stopped down at the line, but Lennox saves it as they put it right back over to Vermillion. Now Knutson trying to get the kill. She can't. Sandel has to save it. Back over to the Vermillion side. Now Knutson sends it. Sandel has to die to the ground to save it once again. Now Zabel an opportunity. Doty has it. Sent over by Stockwell along the far sideline. 14-13 as the rally continues. Now popped up for the Tanagers and Doty, and this one's off balance. Try to save it is Stockwell, and she can't. She had the third hit. She just couldn't quite send it over off balance, and it's going to be a point for the Lennox Orioles, and they get the match, and they win it tonight, 15-13. Again, Lennox gets it over Vermillion, 3-2. As again we take a look at the final sets for tonight. Vermillion won the first one 25-22. Lennox the second one 26-24. Vermillion the third 25-22. Lennox the fourth 25-22. And Lennox in this fifth and decisive set get the win, 15-13 over the Vermillion Tanagers. Folks, don't forget, coming up, we'll have our next broadcast coming up on Tuesday as the Tanagers will be traveling to Bonholm. But the next game here for the Vermillion Tanagers will be on Thursday as they'll take on South Sioux City. So hopefully you can come out and support the Vermillion Tanagers. But until next Tuesday, you have been listening to Vermillion Tanager Volleyball presented by Fuller Digital Solutions. Until Tuesday, thank you for tuning in to this broadcast.